Hello my grade 5 learners, we are now here our first module in our quarter 1 as a topic of divisibility rules and common factors of a certain number. So hope you enjoyed this video for you to be able to learn more further about this discussion. So this is your Sir Dexter KATAWA from Teaching Mathematics. So be ready, and if you want to ask questions, just leave a message in our comment box. Okay? So we are here now in our discussion that talks about our divisibility rules and common factors of numbers. So by the way, before we go further with the lesson, we are going to thank those developers in this module that we have, the writers, the editors, as you can see in our video, the reviewers, illustrators, layout artists, template developer, management team. So I'm just only a teacher which discusses this video. I am disclaimer with this module, so bear in mind that we are just only following this module that we have. So we are now here with the first lesson, and that is divisibility rules with respect for the numbers 2, 5, and 10. So what is divisibility rules? So let's recap your learning how to divide. Let's say 8 divided by 2, and that is equal to 4. 12 divided by 3, and that is equal to 4. Let's say 27 divided by 9, let's say, and that is and have an answer of 3. So therefore, when we talk about divisibility rules, we're going to identify further what would be the tips, the technique for us to be able to divide further of a certain number. So our main focus here is how to divide, what would be the certain techniques or certain rules in dividing a certain number to a number 2, 5, and 10. So bear with me, learners. So have an amazing and fantastic day to have. So our main objective here is to find out the common factors of a number with the divisibility rules of 2, 5, and 10. So let us try ourselves in this pre-test. Choose the letter of the correct answer. We have here a certain problem which is number 1, and that it says, which number greater than 20 but less than 40 divisible by 2 and 5? Again, which number greater than 20 but less than 40 which is divisible by both 2 and 5? So the answer of this is C. Okay, for number 2, we have here which pair of numbers have a common factor of 2, 5, and 10? I repeat, which pair of numbers have a common factor of 2, 5, and 10? So we have here the letter A, 80 and 74, B, 62 and 48, C, 40 and 55, and D is 30 and 70. So among of the choices, the answer of this is D. Okay, number 3, we have here which is the largest 4-digit number which is divisible by 5? Again, which is the largest 4-decimal number divisible by 5? A which is 9,990. B, we have 9,995. C, which is 8,999. D, which is 5,999. So the answer of this is B. So we have also number 4, we have which numbers can be divided by 2, can be divided by both 2 and 5. We again, which numbers can be divided by both 2 and 5? Let's say letter A, 20 and 40. B, we have 30 and 35. C, we have 45 and 60. D, we have 65 and 95. So among of the choices, the answer of this is A. Which, okay, and the last number 4, let us try to answer of this is which pair of numbers has a common factor of 5? Again, which pair of numbers has a common factor of 5? So, common factor of 5, we have here 4 choices. Let's say for A, we have 32 and 65. B, 45 and 90. C, we have 62 and 59. D, we have 22 and 90. So the answer of that is B. So if you're going to ask me, sir, why is it that there's no explanation for this? Okay, the explanation of this part will be answered as we go through with the discussion here. So bear with me, because in this kind of question, and I hope that you are going to your mind will be mind-boggling now, because why is it that one would be the answer? So kindly stay put your answer, then we're going to answer that one little by little. I have to stay put this one first. What would be the explanation of this? We will be back that one later on as I finish discussing the certain topic of this lesson. Okay, so let's go with let us study. Okay, our main concern is what would be the divisibility rule when we able to divide 2, 5, and 10, and how to find a common factors of a given numbers using divisibility 2, 5, and 10. Okay, we have here a certain problem. Okay, we have here in the box, Barangay 2-A divided 125 kilogram of rice equally to those who were not able to receive ration in the first batch. How many kilogram? The abbreviation of that is kg rather. That stands for that one is kilogram. Again, how many kilogram did they divide the rice without an excess? Then the follow-up question we have: how many families were given? Okay, so since our main concern here is from the 125 kilogram of rice, which is equally divided to those who are not able to get the ration in the first batch, so we're going to divide it. How many kilogram did they divide the rice without an excess? So let us consider from the barangay that every family will be distributed a 5 kilogram. Okay, so meaning to say there is a 5 kilogram here. How many 5 kilogram did they divide the rice without an excess? So let's consider in every family that we have will be given a 5 kilogram of rice. So from the 125 ends with in 5. So since that one ends with 5, so let us try to divide it by 5. So if ever, so we have, if we're going to, and the clue here is 5, and the clue here is 5 from the 125. Then, so we have here to divide by 5. So meaning to say, if that would be the case, then in that barangay 2-A, every families that we have will be distributed a 5 kilogram of rice. So we have here, but the question now, how many families in that barangay will be given a 5 kilogram of rice? So to do that is we're going to divide 125 to 5. So 1 divided by 5 cannot be. Let's say 12 divided by 5 also cannot be. Then let's proceed to the third digit to make it 125. So 125 divided by 5, and that is 20. No, let's say, I repeat further. We have 1 cannot be, 1 divided by 5 cannot be. 12 divided by 5, and that is 2 here. Then 2 times 5 is equal to 10. Then we have to subtract 12 to 10. So we have here 2. 12 divided by 12 minus 10, and that is 2. Bring down 5. Then 25 divided by 5, and that is 5. Here we have to put up in the upper portion here. Then 5 times 5 is 25, and we have 25 minus 5, we have 0. So we have now a remainder of 0, which and it means that the remainder 0 there stands for that the certain barangay will be able to equally divided a certain families in that barangay. So meaning to say that we have every families in the barangay 2-A will be given a 5 kilogram rice, and then we can just only have 25 families that we have 25 families, let's say, wait 25 families to be given a 5 kilogram of rice. Okay, that's it. Okay. Now again, in the barangay that we have, from the 125 kilogram of rice, there will be 25 families be given a certain rice, a certain 5 kilogram of rice. So let's proceed now to the given example number, another set of example. Given that 74 and 32 are both divisible by 2. Check. Why? Accordingly, if the number ends with even number, okay, what does it mean by ends with even number? Let's say 4, since 74 and 132, it ends with 4 and 2. Then 4 and 2 is an even number. Then that is why it is divisible by 2. Okay, since both can be divided by 2 without any remainder. Okay, that is correct. So our divisor now is 2. So from 74 divided by 2, and that is 37. So our dividend is 74, while the 2 here is our divisor, and the 37 here as our quotient. Then 2 times 37 is equal to 74. So the 2 here and the 37 are the factors of 74. But then in here is just only sharp. We have a sharp number here of 2 because it just explained that 2 here is understood that the 74 and that the 74 still really divisible by 2, because accordingly 2 times 37 is 74. Another thing is we have 132 is is divided by 2. The 2 here is our divisor, and then the 66 here is our dividend, with the no, that's not a dividend but the quotient, with the dividend 132. So meaning to say that if we're going to multiply 2 and 66, and we come up with 132, and take note that 2 is one of the factors of 132 if we able to multiply it to 66. So meaning to say that in 74 and 132, we have what you call it a common factor of 2. So meaning to say common factor, both numbers that are the same, having the same factor, and that is what we call it a common factor. So the same number that is used as a factor of 2 or more given numbers is called common factor. Okay, in the given 80 and 110, so we are going to identify further. Okay, a certain number, it ends with 0. So the number now understood to be divisible by 2. So let's say 80 divided by 2 is 40, while 110 divided by 2 is 55. As I said, since two numbers end with 0, then that one is divisible by 2. Okay, in our evidence here, or our explanation here, 80 divided by 2 is 40, while 110 divided by 2 is 55. Same as here. Okay, let us check. So if a certain number ends with 0, divisible by 2, then it is also divisible by 5 by showing here 80 divided by 5, and that is 16, 110 divided by 5, and that is 22. So meaning to say 80 and 110 also is divisible by 5. Same as with 80 divided by 10 is 8, 110 divided by 10 is 11. So it is also divisible by 10. Now, what would be your interpretation or analysis, or just to say understanding in dealing with this example number 2, which, let's say, given number is 80 and 110, meaning since it ends with 0, it is divisible by 2. So likewise, if it's also ends with 0, a certain number ends with 0 is also divisible by 5. On the other hand, it is also divisible by 10. So meaning to say that if a number ends with 0, then that number is divisible by 2, 5, and 10. I repeat, if a certain number ends with 0, let's say 80 and 110, we are now able to have some understanding that if it ends with 0, and that one now is divisible by 2, divisible by 5, as well as divisible by 10. So therefore, we could say now that they have a common factors of 2, 5, and 10. So that is how do we able to identify such word or phrase. What does it mean by a common factor? Okay, let us try this one. In number 1, give two numbers from 10 and 15 which are divisible by 2. Again, give two numbers from 10 and to 15 which are divisible by 2. Okay, now from 10 to 15, so let's say 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, we have here 14 and 15. Okay, now divisible by 2. The divisible of 2, it's, as I said a while ago, it should be a number ends with even the number with the number that must be ends with an even number. So 10 is an even, 11 is not because it is an odd number, 12 is even, 14 is even, 15 also is not, as well as with the 13 because it is an odd number. So give two numbers now from 10 to 15 which are divisible by 2. So the two numbers, possible numbers, are 10, 12, 12, 14. So the possible answer now is, the possible number now is 10, 12, 10, 12, among, you just pair the 3. It should be 10, 12, 10, 14, or 12, 10, 12, 14. Okay, let us try also another set of example, another set of question. How do you know that the given numbers are divisible by 2? If a number ends with even. Okay, is another set. Is 785 divisible by 5? Why? So yes, it is divisible by 5. If a number ends with 5 and 0, and that one is divisible by 5. It ends with 5. Okay? Okay, we have now on the next page that we have, and let us practice. This activity serves as your self-assessment or work, self-exercise for you to be able to learn. And I will be able to share this discussion or explanation in the next video that I have. So don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and give for your future notification. Again, I will encourage you to answer this one first before I will give you this video explanation. Same as with let us practice more. I will leave this one as you answer this one. And again, don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to my video lesson for your future notification. Then we were going to compare further about the answer that you have to my explanation. Okay? For you to be learned. Now let us remember that in this discussion, our main objective is that the certain numbers be divisible by 2, 5, and 10 if the certain rules takes in. In the first one, if it is divisible by 2, the number must ends with 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. Or just to say, we call that one as even numbers. And if it is divisible by 5, the number must ends with 0 or 5. And if it is divisible by 10, the number must ends with 0. So take note that in the divisibility rules, our thing to do is it should be the certain number that is divisible by another set of number, provided that we can create an exact quotient or without there's a certain remainder, but it is that the remainder is the same with 0. Okay, If it is divisible by 2, the common factor, if two or more numbers are divisible by 2, and we have to call that one as common factors of 2. Common factor of 2. When divisible by 5, it has a common factor of 5. If it is divisible by 10, it has a common factor of 10. And we can do, this divisor can be factored in a multiplication process. Okay, another activity part, let us assess. So meaning to say, we're going to assess ourselves, and I will leave this one to you for your enhancement. Same as with let us enhance, I will give this one a future video separate in this discussion for you to learn further. And if ever you wanted to know about the answer, just don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe the video for your future notification. And take note, encouragement for you to learn is just to try. And when you in the success in life, there's also attached a failure. So don't worry that if you feel something about it, if you have some mistakes, then that's for your learning. Okay, same as with let us reflect. Okay, and if you're going to know further about what you have learned, okay, there is an answer key for that. Okay, so let's not forget ourselves. If you want to learn more about the lesson, do not forget to subscribe, follow, and like my video. Goodbye for this moment, and I hope we can see each other for the next video. Goodbye.